Hi, I'm Andy Baraghani. I'm back in the NYT Cooking Studio kitchen, and today we're making crispy chicken thighs with melty leeks and peas. So this dish, while it emphasizes spring ingredients, you really can make it year-round. The vegetables can easily be swapped. Snap peas, snow peas, a Swiss chard, kale would work really well with this. It's a complete meal. You can eat it on its own or just over rice or some really nice toast and bread. Okay, we have some beautiful chicken thighs, bone in, skin on. This is about 2.5 pounds, so I'm just gonna give a good amount of salt on both sides. And because they're definitely a fattier cut than, say, chicken breasts, they can actually take quite a bit of salt. Now, there's very few ingredients in this dish, so you definitely want everything to be seasoned well. So we're gonna season on both sides, and pepper on both sides as well. Try to set them aside for at least 10 minutes at room temperature, or even up to 30 minutes at room temperature. You really want the salt to absorb. First, we're gonna prep our leeks. They're pretty trim, but I'll give them another trim, and then we're just gonna go straight down lengthwise, and then we'll slice them crosswise. We call them like half moons. And even if the leeks look clean, they're sneaky allium because the grit, the sand gets stuck in the very kind of center. I like using the entire leek because the darker green parts actually have a lot of texture. When you wash leeks, you're gonna still have a little bit of that water attached to them, which is not a bad thing. It kind of helps them almost get steam and soft when they're cooking in the fat. Lots of leeks. We're gonna fill this up with cold water. I'm just gonna give them a little bit of a shake. If they're really, really dirty, then I would do maybe a couple batches, but these look pretty clean. All the sand's on the bottom. I'm just gonna sit on top. I'm just gonna fish it out with my hands. All right. Now we have 6 garlic cloves, and we're just giving it a thin slice. I would also describe this dish as foundational. You can add white wine to it. You can add more herbs to it. Make it spicy by adding a fresh chili or dried chili. Okay, so we have our garlic, we have our leeks, and now our peas are already shelled, and we have our lemon. We're just going to kind of use a Y peeler, my favorite vegetable peeler. This is kind of infusing the sauce with the lemon flavor, but that will eventually kind of remove. So we're not eating it, we're just kind of infusing the sauce. We have our lemon peel. We'll leave this kind of nude lemon aside. We'll cut it up and serve it with the chicken once it's brown. We have some chicken stock here that'll kind of help create a nice sauce. Now we have all of our prep done. We're gonna turn our cast iron to medium heat. We're gonna give it a little bit of a head start with some extra virgin olive oil. Where'd you get this cast iron? I think it won't be here after today. I like this one. Okay, so our oil's starting to get a little bit glossy. We're gonna use tongs. Just place the chicken skin side down, all around. We're gonna go really low and slow on medium heat. Now with the high heat or medium high heat, I find that the chicken skin will seize up. It will still brown, but it won't fully render out all that fat. Rendering is basically you're trying to release as much fat from the skin out. So you'll see how even though we have 3 tablespoons of olive oil, you're gonna have even more fat as it releases from the chicken skin. And so what I like to do is kind of use tongs and just kind of press down occasionally all around. I like to move the pan around a little bit when I'm browning something. Sometimes, say, a burner has hot spots. The chickens are releasing quite a bit of fat, which is great. We're cooking these chicken thighs 85% of the way on the skin side down. And then we'll eventually flip them once the skin is perfectly brown and it's released all that fat, and cook them another 5 minutes and then set them aside. The fat's gonna give a lot of flavor to the sauce, and you also are gonna need it to kind of saute and break down those leeks and to become really soft and melty. We're very much there. You can see how the skin has kind of very much rendered its fat, and now we're just pushing it to get even more brown. I would keep going, not only for that skin to continue to color, but also to continue cooking the chicken because it's still raw, as you can tell. All right, so now we're just gonna flip our thighs, and you can see how they definitely are nice and brown. Okay, really beautiful thighs. We're gonna let that go for 5 minutes on the other side. All right, I'm just gonna transfer them to a plate, still skin side up, so they can remain crispy. We'll set the chicken aside. We'll bring our leeks. Okay, so now we're gonna add all our leeks to the pan. And again, still on medium heat. We'll give this a toss, just so all the leeks get coated in the fat. We'll add our garlic. And again, we're not browning the garlic here. It's gonna kind of steam with the leeks and then eventually kind of soften. And no need to rush this process. The leeks will eventually shrink down. We can season them with a little bit of salt right now. Just to season them, it also help kind of bring out that water. We're not looking to brown the leeks or the garlic, just to kind of soften them. All that fat is already kind of gone. You can see the leeks are just gradually shrinking, and we'll let that go. I would describe this as a gentle dish. Gentle flavors, really chickeny, lots of texture. If you don't want to use leeks, you can definitely use onions, scallions. Leeks become juicy. They have so much water and flavor. I love cooking them down, and that's why it looked a little bit maybe insane in the beginning with those 2 leeks, but you could see just how much they kind of shrink up and start to collapse. We want the leeks to have no bite. They probably need another 3 minutes. They need a few more minutes. They're already so delicious just because of all that chicken fat that we left in the pan. What I also love is when you use the entire leek, you get this kind of range of green, all these different shades. You can tell the leeks are also almost there because a lot of the water is also starting to evaporate and there's less water in the pan. Okay, so now we're gonna add our lemon peel. So much flavor just here, and I'm gonna add a little bit more salt. Okay, you could already smell the lemon. We're gonna add just 1 cup of chicken stock. We'll just wanna push some of the leeks on the side down. Now that it's come to a simmer, we're just gonna reduce to medium-low and then add the chicken and peas. Again, skin side up. Okay, our chicken is done, our leeks have cooked, our peas are cooked. Now we're gonna plate up. I'm gonna do a little bed of the greens. Now, your choice. I'm gonna use both because I'm feeling greedy, but I love dill and mint with this dish. So I'm just gonna take some mint leaves and some dill as well. As little or as much as you'd like. I love my herbs, so I'm a rabbit. And then there's leftover lemon. I'm just gonna kind of just nestle in for people just kind of squeeze over. And that's it. Crispy chicken thighs with melty leeks and peas. And you could serve this over rice. I think it's complete as it is. We have some really nice toast to go along with it. I'm just gonna grab a chicken thigh, some of those leeks and peas. I'm gonna take a lemon wedge. Okay, I'm going for the perfect bite. You see that the chicken is really like almost shreddy. It's so chickeny in the best way. It's like the skin, the meat, all that fat that's like you can taste throughout the sauce. The leeks are really nice and soft, the peas are sweet. I think that squeeze of lemon is essential. It kind of brings everything back up because everything has been very kind of cooking gently and slowly, and that kind of acidity you kind of want with all that fat and green. It takes a little bit of time, but I promise you once you make this, you'll embrace this technique. Go slow, medium heat, skin side down until you have this beautiful burnish, deep golden brown skin, and you'll be cooking chicken thighs this way from here on out. You can find this recipe and many more at NYT Cooking.